Hi guys and girls, and welcome back to Zenith Minis. My name is Greg, and today I am really excited because we've got an exclusive first look at a brand new model by Creature Caster. If you're not familiar with Creature Caster, they're an independent miniature company that produce a wide range of awesome looking models, paints and hobby supplies. I've recently become a creature creator, so that means they've sent me the Queen of Malifica, their brand new model, early so we can check it out on the channel. So what we're going to do today is open her up, take a look at the components, and I will say it's pretty impressive at first glance, and then at the end I'm going to let you know what my thoughts are. We're starting off with the base, and I've laid out all the components in front of me here, and it is a bit overwhelming. I'm going to be honest with you, looking at it first, there's so much detail, so many parts to it. It's going to look absolutely amazing when it's assembled. Each of these sprues or casts from the resin are numbered to correspond with the instructions, which is good, so you can know which piece is what when you're putting it together. But honestly, the detail on these resin pieces is absolutely incredible. So we're going to take a look at these in a bit more detail, just so I can show you what I mean. If we look at this one here, you can see all those little eyes and the, I think it's teeth that are going on there. You've got skulls around the bottom. It's absolutely incredible. And I've compared this to some of the Forge World resin I've had in the past, and I've got to say, this knocks that out of the park in terms of the detail and also the quality of it as well. I mean, in Forge World, there's quite a lot of bubbles sometimes. I mean, I had the Crimson Paladins, and you know, they weren't the best to work with to repair a few bits. But this is looking pretty sharp, I'm gonna be honest. They're still gonna have you're still gonna have some cleanup to do, flash and bits to clip off. You know, there's no really escaping that, but just the quality on the resin is absolutely superb. You can see we've got the eyes down there, and again all the kinds of the little details that are available in these components is awesome. So this is the other side. Yeah, so I'm super looking forward to painting this. I don't really know where to start with it. I mean, there's so much detail in it. It's probably going to be quite suitable for some contrast, I imagine, with some metallics in there as well. So I might go down that route when I'm putting it together. At least for these bits, because you do have a lot of these recesses in here. So the contrast is going to settle quite nicely in there, or washes, or whatever you're using. And then you can kind of dry brush or highlight that up. So yeah, we're really looking forward to painting this as well as assembling it. So this is the base. It's quite a large base. So if you are using it in other war games, you know, maybe you're proxying it for something, it's going to be quite suitable. I think this base is to scale with a lot of the things you may want to use this for. Or if you're just painting it because you love the model, this is a pretty nice base. And when you imagine everything that's assembled on top of it, it's going to be pretty awesome. And that's just one of the tendrils, I think, that comes off it. So that is the base. We're going to take a look at the Queen herself now. Here then we've got the first part of the Queen. So we've got the body component. So let's get a bit of focus on that. So it comes, interestingly, in all one piece. So it's quite a large piece, but it's great that it is all one component and it's kind of all one big cast. Because you kind of see the curves in the legs and in the body, and you know, if you're kind of having to squeeze two together, you know, we've got a bit of a mold line there, but that's easy to clean up rather than having to kind of maybe glue it together. It would be a bit more harder work. So it is really nice that they've included this as one giant solid piece. But what I'm really kind of fanboying over a little are these wings. I am a bit of a sucker for high detail when it comes to feathers and wings, and I've always wanted to paint something like that. I mean, I keep seeing models, I'm like, I really want to give that a go, and you know, there's so much detail in the feathers and the rest of it, but I've never bit the bullet and bought a model. So to have the chance to give this a go and really pick out all those individual quills on the wings, it's going to be really intense, but I'm really looking forward to it. And we'll have a look at this wing here as well. So again, there is a bit of flash still to clean up on this. I'll make sure that gets all cleaned up before I do the assembly video. So they do send over assembly instructions with the model, so I got a digital version of that, and what I'll be doing is making a video on how to assemble this model, because as you can see there's loads of different components, and an assembly guide is always handy, but having a video as well will hopefully be extra helpful to you guys who are going to pick up this amazing model. So again, we've got loads of detail around there. We've got a lot of eyes and kind of ridges and gaps in there. And here's the other wing then as well. So I really like these scrolls that are kind of hanging down with almost like the rune markings on there too. So again, they're going to be quite nice to pick out, maybe in gold, or maybe do like a glowing effect or something like that. And then we've got this little bit here. I'm not really too sure where that goes at the moment, but we'll figure it out when we're assembling it. And again, we've got these little runes etched into the resin, so you can see the detail. Let me see how close I can actually get this. But these are tiny little etched runes in there, so much little things going on with this model, and Creature Caster have done a great job at getting all these little things put in. And then we got this bit. So again, we've got a lot of cool textures going on there. I say cool textures, they're pretty gross textures for the most part, but that's what you want with a model like that. We've got these kind of sack things going on and tendrils, so they are pretty cool but pretty gross. And again, we've got some more rune markings there. So yeah, it does have a bit of an Egyptian theme to it. I do love a bit of kind of the Egyptian architecture and things like that. So yeah, so that is the first part of the Queen, and we're going to take a look at the last bag now. Here then is the final collection of components, and as you can see, these are all of the more smaller detail pieces. We've got some extra tendrils here, we've got some arms, we've got some hands, accessories like a book, looks like a sword here, and scrolls or pieces of parchment and those runes etched on it, and well, another book by the looks of it, but there, and other bits here too. So we're going to have a bit of a look at some of these pieces. So we'll have a look at this arm set here. So we've got a pair of arms, and as you can see, the resin is really smooth on the forearm, quite detailed in the knuckles and around the hands as well. And again, really awesome looking when it comes to the anatomy of the arms. I mean, it's pretty spot on, and even if you kind of look, I don't know if you can see it, see how close I can get it again for you, but you can see kind of the sculpting around the inside of the hand, so in the palm, and the creases in the skin is pretty amazing actually of how kind of realistic it looks. So much, as I said probably a load of times already, so much detail in this model. We got another set of hands here, and you can see all the fine detail around the knuckles again, and even like the texture of the skin and in the palms there. And these are numbered, so you're going to want to make sure that you are assembling it correctly, and those numbers will again correspond with the assembly guide. We've got some sort of beak thing going on here by the looks of it, so I'm not too sure where that part goes. Maybe it's a head, I'm assuming. We've got different options here. I'll say we'll find out more when we are assembling it in another video. And this is cool. We've got a book here, so this is the back of the book. We've got all those engravings around the binding on the cover. So it looks like then this part then would attach in there. This is the front of the book. So quite a bit of open space there if you want to put in your own sort of text or something. We're going to leave it plain. Got some more arms here. Let's have a look at these ones actually, because these are more like bird talons. Just got all those ridges around the knuckles and on the toes, and we have the talons coming down there. And then we got all the embossed detail going around the ankle or the wrist. I'm not too sure. So it looks like jewelry or some sort of, I don't know whether it's actually part of the skin or maybe it's a some sort of accessory or jewelry that's going around the legs or arms there. And then we've got a sword, so we've got the hand holding the sword on the rear. So that will attach here to the model, and as you can see it comes around to there. It's a pretty cool looking sword. We've got some of those lovely boils and corruption going down the side of that sword. That's pretty awesome. And then we've got a load more of these scrolls with the runes on it, or just the pieces of parchment that'll hang down from the model, I imagine. So those are all the small pieces, so now it's just the task of assembling it. So that is pretty much it for the model. Let's go to the conclusion. So guys, that is the end of today's video, but what are my first impressions? Well, we're going to start with the resin. So I've bought resin miniatures before from other companies, and I've spent a lot of time cleaning up the model, fixing problems, repairing imperfections or damages, things like fine detail where it comes out of the mold damage, you've got to fix it. There's a sword that's not straight, so you've got to warm it up in hot water, align it properly. It's a pain, it's boring, nobody likes doing it, but it is an evil necessity if you want to assemble and paint the model correctly. The good news about this model from Creature Caster, doesn't seem to be too much of that. I mean, yes, you still got flash to clean off, you've got mold lines to remove, and you've got tabs to clip away, but when it comes to any sort of damages to the resin, doesn't seem to be much of that at all. It seems really high quality. I've cleaned about a quarter of the models so far, and I've not once had to fill in anything like a bubble with super glue or repair anything with green stuff. And especially on this model where there's so much detail, the last thing you want is to be spending too much time repairing any problems. So to me, that is a big plus. It's going to save a lot of time on the cleanup. So you can get it assembled quicker and get stuck into the painting. So what we're going to do now is talk a bit more about the model herself, which is the important part. So I can guarantee you, if you pick up this model, it's going to be a centerpiece for any army or display cabinet. The silhouette is very impressive. The sculpt is amazing. Seeing it fully assembled in real life as well, I'm really looking forward to doing it, because the images look amazing, but I guarantee you they do not do the model justice. You've got to get it in your hands, look at it in real life, and you can see the amount of work the design team have put into the Queen of Malifica. It is a very impressive and fantastic looking model, but it will 100% challenge your painting skills. All that detail work, you know, you're going to want to give yourself a good deal of time to paint her up. You've got to give that model justice. It'll be worth it in the end, I guarantee it. So my recommendation is that you go out, check out this model in real life, pick it up, paint it up, and you can give yourself a pat on the back when you do it, because it's not going to be an easy feat, but it's definitely going to be an accomplishment once you're done. So that's it from me this week. Really hope you've enjoyed. If you have, drop me a like, leave a comment below, let me know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe as well. When you do, make sure you click on the bell icon, because that means you'll be notified every single time I upload a brand new piece of content. And don't forget to check out the video description, because that'll have links to the Creature Caster website where you can check out their full range of products, as well as my affiliate links, which will give you discount of miniatures, and my Patreon as well, where you can get exclusive access to early tutorials and private tuition. So I'll be back with more videos on the Queen of Malifica. We're going to be assembling her next, so I really hope you'll join me for that. But until then, thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time.